Well, hello, welcome everybody. Today we're talking about customer success and moving from D365 from AX to the cloud. My name is Jennifer Mazza. I'm a customer success manager with Microsoft, and I help customers as they transition from AX to D365 in the cloud.
And my name is Jila Yadav. I also go by JJ Yadav. I'm Principal Solution Architect in the Dynamics 365 Fast Track team, and I'll be talking here with Jennifer, the technical aspect of the migration.
So the agenda for today is we're going to actually look at how do we plan for that migration and realize business value as we move from on-premises to the cloud. And then we're going to look at like pathways to migrate, how that migration planning would look like, some of the tools that Microsoft has to help, as well as review any customer success stories and then any questions and answers that you might have. So first up, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how do we migrate from AX to the cloud and what makes a customer successful as they do that. One of the things that we have to look at is what is the vision as we go to the cloud? What's the benefits of going to the cloud? What do we think we're going to realize for it? And what are we actually trying to do to optimize when we go to the cloud? Is it for cost avoidance? Is it for gaining technology advantage? So what is the clear vision that we have that we want when we move to the cloud and that we're trying to do? And then one of the other things that's really important is then how do we measure as we go to the cloud what that business value is? What do we expect to gain from going to the cloud? What KPIs do we want to measure? And what do we expect our users to get out of the change in experience as they move? The next thing that really is important when you move to the cloud is considering how do we assess whether our employees are, where are they? What's their maturity? Are they ready for the cloud? Do they need skilling? How will this change their job? And then we'll get into some of the technical aspects of planning and moving to the cloud. And then we circle back with how do we then measure what that journey would look like? So once we get through the action plan and we circle back to measuring value, it's really important that we kind of map out that framework for our users as they move to AX so that they understand what we're doing. So one of the things that we do create at Microsoft when we're looking and working with customers is what does the value path look like? So what are the benefits that we expect to get out of moving from AX to the cloud? And then how do we measure those benefits? What are those key performance indicators that are really important to us as a company? And then mapping out the capabilities that those do, and also looking at which kind of horizon are we doing these things in. We can't always do everything at once. And so what is a priority for a company and what do we do after that so that we can realize those business benefits as we go? So when you're looking at moving to the cloud, those are some of kind of the soft and functional benefits of helping you be successful to move. And now JJ is going to talk to you a little bit about how the technical aspect of moving from AX to the cloud will work.
So let's first talk about what are the migration pathways from AX. So depending on your version of your on-premise versions like AX 2012 R3 or R2 or RTM, or even customers we have on AX 2009, there could be a different path. So if you're on R2 and R3, you can do code upgrade from LCS, and you can also do data upgrade from the LCS, and or you can do data migration. If you're on RTM, then code upgrade is supported by LCS, and you can do data migration using the tools. And we'll talk about some of these tools later on. But if you're on AX 2009, then you have to do the re-implementations of any code which you want to bring up from AX 2009 to DC5, and you can do data migrations on that. So the next thing, once you decide that as an organization that you want to move from Dynamics AX on-prem versions to Dynamics 365 Cloud, the first thing is what that journey looks like. So what are the different activities you need to plan to get there? So as Jennifer pointed out, first you define your business values, what you want to, how you want to measure success, and what are the criteria for success are. similar planning exercise you'll do as you start the project. So first you'll define your the goals and objective of the migrations, and then do migration assessment from the planning perspective. Migration assessment is more about understanding your current scope of the projects, integration, solutions, and what it will take you to migrate your current solutions and to the cloud. And based on that assessment, you basically decide on the migration approach and then create a project plan to execute on that plan. One of the things Microsoft provide is a standard migration assessment, which is at no cost. We'll talk briefly about that in this slide and the following slide, but that basically can help you, kind of provide at the high level the estimation of the projects and some of the key activities and benefit of moving to your on-prem solutions to cloud. In the execute stage, you basically go through the detailed fit gap analysis, do the code upgrade and data upgrade or data migration, and then any solutions redesigning you need to do, you'll do that, do regression testing. And the prepare phase is similar to any other ERP implementation projects where you want to do end-to-end testing, performance testing, UAT or user acceptance testing, training. Many times we have heard from the customers who are migrating from the on-prem AX, there's less learning curve for training, but it's important. The UI is different and it's a cloud. So it's important to plan some time for training to make sure that the users are familiar with the interface and access. And the most important thing, in the prepare phase for the migration project is the cutover planning, because you are moving from on-prem systems to cloud, and that involves a lot of systems and changes and things like that. So careful planning of the cutover activities is critical as well. So on the go live, it's just like any other project, go live preparation is important, and then doing cutover testing to make sure that all the cutover activities which you have planned are going smooth, and then finally going live. So we'll focus next on the planning phase and execution phase. So in the planning phase, when you're defining the migration goals and the objective, an assessment will help you here. But the first few things which you have to decide on is what type of migrations you want to run. Is this a land and expand kind of migrations where you want to migrate as is business processes with a minimum change? And then once you land in the cloud, then expand on that, and implement new features and things like that. Or is it going to be a kind of a start with a digital transformation to optimize your business processes from the day one? And the second example here is, do you want to reduce changes to the business users so that you can reduce disruptions, or you want to kind of minimize the business disruptions with phase rollout? So you can, if you have multiple legal entities or multiple manufacturing units and things like that, you can minimize the disruptions by just going live in phases rather than reducing the change. Third angle to this is, depending on how much customizations and extensions you did in the AX 2009 or the AX 2012 world, do you see much value to those, customizations and investments you did, and you want to carry forward those customizations and extensions to DCD5, or you want to start, maximize the value by reducing those customizations and adapting to new processes and technology from the get-go. The fourth point is, how do you want to migrate the data? Do you want to bring configurations and master data and all historical transactions data from your AX 2012 systems, or you want to clean up the configurations? You will have more flexibility there. Like if you have a lot of cleanup required in your master data, like customers, vendor, product, you can take this opportunity to clean up and start fresh with new set of data and clean data in the new ERP system. These decisions, goals and objectives will help you define how you want to go about migration path or re-implementation path. So that we'll cover in the next slide. Before we go there, so one of the things we talked about the standard migration assessment program. This is no charge, no obligation from Microsoft. So if any Dynamics AX customers qualifies to this, what this helps you do is define that a path and help assess that migration journey for you. It will provide valuable insight on your migration effort. It will have reports on your technical and functional migration expertise you need, and then assessment report as an output of the assessment is basically highlighting that what features and functionalities you could technically replace and remove customizations, and what is going to be the best path forward for you to do data migrations or data upgrade path. And this exercise is done with your functional and technical team and Microsoft Standard Migration Assessment team, and they will go over and sit with you to discuss the project plan. They will also look at your code and data, collect some points to provide this assessment report. So do utilize these, to kind of make up that decisions how you want to migrate and to the cloud. So the next is once you have all these information, the next thing is deciding on the migration approach. So from the technology point of view, you can think of three options. We talked about upgrade, lift, and shift, and land and expand approach. So basically this is bringing everything as is, with little or no change, and adopting new features and processes after going live. This would be only possible with AX 2012 R2, R3, where data upgrade is supported. So you can basically move the customizations and extensions and then do the data migration, a data upgrade to bring it to DTD5, and then you can expand on that. Definitely, it looks like it will be lower cost and time to move cloud and lower change management because you are bringing the functionality as is. However, this will be a big bang release. So so all your data is going to be upgraded to cloud, which means you have less flexibility to kind of break out and roll out in phases and things like that. It will take longer time to value. You basically move the functionality of business processes as is, so it's going to take time to adapt to new features and things like that. The second approach is re-implement, starting fresh with the new features and re-implementation. So if you're coming from AX 2009, that's one of the options you have. But even we have seen customers who are coming from AX 2012 are adopting to this path because they have, they see the value of, going and starting fresh in new ERP. You can still, migrate some of your code and customizations as well as data, to start fresh in the DC5 world. It will take higher, more cost and time to move because you probably want to do in phases to minimize the risk and things like that. But you have higher flexibility to lower the risk with phase rollout. And as you roll out the new phases, you'll realize the value from day one. We have seen customers doing the hybrid approach as well, where best of both worlds. You can do code upgrade to recoup any of the investment which you have done in the past in your AX platforms and bring those customizations and extensions and business processes back to DC5. But at the same time, do the kind of a re-implementations in terms of data and processes so that you have flexibility of both the worlds. So that's the kind of a overview of the planning phase. Once you go through that planning phase and completed all that, then there are tools which are going to help you with the migration journey. One of the tools we have is the LCS code upgrade service. So input of this code is, as you can see here, is the AX 2012 model store. And this tool is only applicable for AX 2012. either RTM or AX2012 R2 and R3, all the three are supported. So you can upload your model store to LCS, and then output of this code, this tool is a DCD5 code base and some Excel reports, which basically define and manual effort required to convert overlay into extensions. So that's as a next step, you will need developers to convert the overlay code to extensions. So you need to plan for that time. And these reports, which are produced by the LCS, will help you kind of estimate some of the cost of that. And also a standard assessment report highlight some of these things. They go through the code upgrade process to find out the effort required and also highlight the effort at the high level. Some other things which you have to think about is redesign any intrusive customizations, integrations, and reporting solutions when you are moving to cloud. So those are the important things to consider when you are doing the code upgrade path. One of the key things you have to think about is the coding or development processes in DCD5 has changed compared to AX2012. That's why the overlaying to extension is required, and that's the most important thing in this. In DCD5 or dynamic CD5 world, we have concept of extension, which means you're not overriding Microsoft code, and you are basically creating the extensions of what Microsoft sets out of the box, which enables the kind of continuous update lifecycle of the Dynamics 365 platform. So this is very important steps, and that is where you need to spend some time to convert your existing customizations and to DC5. In many cases, you don't even need some of these customizations because there are new features which covers some areas. So do go through that exercise to remove any customizations which are not needed. The second tool in the list is the migration tooling, AX2012 Data Upgrade Toolkit. This is a command line tool which is used to set up a replication from on-prem to cloud. So if you are AX2012 R2 and R3 customers and you want to move, do data upgrade, which means like you are copying the historical transactions and everything from AX2012 to DCD5, then you'll use this tool, and this tool set up the replications from the AX2012 database directly to cloud sandbox environments, and then it will orchestrate end-to-end data upgrade process. So it copies the data, and then it runs the upgrade scripts, which are part of the application, to convert the data from AX2012 into the Dynamics 365 schema format and prepare the application for use. It's important that there's, depending on the database size and the complexity of the solution, this process needs to be repeated multiple times. Also, it's important to clean up any log and audit data, so the database is reduced. So when you are moving to the cloud, there's less data to move, less data to transform, and so that you can get so the timeline to upgrade can fit into your cutover planning. So most important thing in the data upgrade process is to repeat and refine that process to make sure that you get to the state where you are comfortable with the cutover steps and able to validate end-to-end solution. The third tool in the mix is a migration tool. So this is AX2009 to AX2012 data migration tool. So this tool can help you migrate configuration, master data, and open transactions. So this tool is based on a framework, data migration, data management framework, and similar to data entities frameworks or data management frameworks which we have in DCD5. So it's a tool which can sit in your AX2012 or AX2009 applications and then help you with data mapping, transformations, and validations, and we'll be able to use this to move data from source to target using this framework. It's a repeatable and reusable data mapping template, and there are many out-of-the-box common mapping templates are available. So you should be able to use that, extend it, to your custom solutions and fields, and then use it on the ongoing basis for phase rollout as well. So with that, we want to share some of the customer stories. Like many of our customers has been able to migrate successfully using these tools and services to cloud. And as you can see, some of the names here. These are the public stories available on our customer stories page. Kodak Alaris recently moved, from AX2012 to Dynamics 365, and they selected the data upgrade approach, a kind of hybrid approach where they kind of remove some of the customizations which didn't wanted, and then did the data upgrade to move to the cloud as quickly as possible. And then many of these other customers, Sakata, Leopard, Copert, Copper State, Azelisis, GN, and many more customer stories on the customer success things. And one of my favorite is, if you look at this Copert comment from the corporate IT manager, the world is changing, the company is changing, and the good value to have a solution that can deal with these changes. And it's a good to know that we'll never need to new ERP solutions ever again, which means like in DC5, once you upgrade from legacy AX2009 or AX2012, this is a evergreen application. This is based on the fundamentals of the extensions. The applications update every month, and you don't have to do expensive upgrade process to keep up with the ERP changes. So that's all the values which it bring, and hopefully this process and some of the technical discussions here help you plan AX migrations for your organization. With that, we have a few resources, documentations. We have Microsoft Learn pages, which describe the AX2012 upgrade process, AX2009 data migration tooling. We also have a training modules on AX2012 to DC5 finance and operations, which goes in depth to discuss that. We have several tech talk on our tech talk community side on upgrading from AX2012 or AX2009, and then many Q&A sessions on that. We hope to utilize these and migrate, which will help you to migrate from on-premise to cloud. With that, thank you. We can open for Q&A.